What's up, good people? Welcome to the Game Changers podcast. I am your host, diddyonasis. Now let's go change the game. What's up, good people? It's your guy, diddyonasis. Welcome back to the Game Changers podcast. I am your host, and today we have another esteemed guest, a big dog in the fighting game space. He's a freelance event admin, a tech aficionado.
Yes, sir.
You have
Yes, sir.
a ref down here, a ref, an event coordinator, and TO. See, I want to learn about all of those, that terminology. I have no idea what some of that is. But Game Changers Podcast, welcome to the show, King Kai.
Thank you.
What's up, man? Welcome to the show, man. Now let's start to change the game now, man. So how did you get into the space of gaming? No, I want to learn about all the terms in that introduction that I just gave you. So what is what is a tech? Are you a tech specialist?
Yeah. So essentially, like being a tech means helping out with stream content, with production, being an assistant with whether it's troubleshooting issues on the PCs when I'm doing Call of Duty or Halo events. Basically, they're troubleshooting certain things or assisting with like Ethernet, internet, certain all the type of stuff in the background that you see for the IT side of events. I'm usually helping out with that. That's the best way I can describe a tech.
Got it. Hey, you know what? So you're the guy just checking the mics. If someone has a problem, you're sliding in and helping them out. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Cool. Ref. So what is the ref part of it?
So reffing is refereeing, short for refereeing. So assisting with whether it's putting in scores or making sure to be the official on site for making sure that people are following the rules, going through a checklist of, hey, are all the controllers legal? Are the screens good, up to par? Is everything tournament standard? Make sure that everything that we have that is being used is at a tournament standard and is also at the attendee or players standard as well, so that way they can play to the best of their ability.
Okay, good. I'm just getting a complete understanding, man. Okay, I understand that now. I understand that. And TO, what is a TO?
So TO is short for tournament organizer. So essentially like doing doing the floor plans, helping out with logistics on the side, getting the staffing ready, making sure that attendees are good. It's a blend of all those things, but I do that now for working on a new weekly that I've been doing called Clash at Coliseum in Kissimmee. It's been a blessing, truly.
Oh, dope. I can't wait to talk about that. So okay, we got all the technical terms out of the way.
Yes, sir.
Or, not technical terms, your titles, your many titles. So, how did you get into the space? Like you said earlier, you're heavy into the fighting game arena, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how did you get into that space?
So, I actually I've been playing fighting games for a very long time. I started off in anime fighters, so like Naruto, Clash of Ninja on the GameCube. Forever one of the best games of all time. Anybody can add me on that. It's okay. If you want to challenge it, it's okay. And then in high school, we were playing Naruto Storm 4. Ironically, I'm over here at my house, and I have a couple of friends over. We've been getting it in on that on different consoles, seeing who's the best at that. And we later on in college, my professor, my English composition professor, actually showed me a video, an iconic video from a tournament called Evo that's hosted in Las Vegas. And he showed me Evo moment, I believe it's either 37 or 47, where a player named Daigo Umehara did a perfect parry with Ken against Justin Wong's Chung Li, where she throws out all these kicks for her special move.
Right.
And so he perfect parries every single one of them and does it in such a fashion with little health and is able to bring it back and win the Evo championship. And at that time I was playing Mortal Kombat X, and I said, I need to go to tournaments like that. And so that's literally how I got my feet wet and where I really got into doing some research and getting involved in the fighting game scene.
Rare footage of Daigo actually angry. turtle style. Overcome Rao. Now on the verge of putting Daigo down. 1-0.
Yeah, so is that technical? You mentioned
Yeah.
parry. He parried the kicks. Those kicks are coming in at 1,000 miles an hour, right? You're talking about the kick when
Oh,
she goes.
1000%.
You talking about that kick?
Yeah, so like
Nope.
literally when Chun-Li, like where you see those flashes of kicks like just going around and it almost looked like it's fading in and out, literally he perfectly parried every single one of them to where he didn't take any health
No
and
way.
was a and yep. And so if you perfect parry it in Street Fighter back then, and also in the same case now, you don't take any chip damage and you have you have a reading. If you get the timing correct, you can actually go in and interrupt their move, and that's exactly what he did. He Shoryukened it. He did a
No,
special and then finished off with a Shoryuken to win the entire championship.
I bet. So I understand why that piqued your interest. That's
Yeah,
that's hard to do. That's hard to
yeah,
do.
1000%. At a professional level with thousands of people watching behind you, like
Oh yeah.
it's incredible. So I'll definitely have to send you that video. It's an amazing
Please do.
thing.
Please do. We
Yeah,
send that to me, and we're gonna put that up as some B-roll while we're having this
yeah,
conversation, man. That's gonna be fly. So that from that moment on, from high school, or was that college that your
yeah. So
professor?
from college was when I got like when I really got into it. Yeah,
Dope.
like that's when the flame started. Yeah,
So was your professor, not professor, professor,
yeah.
was he like a was he were you in the gaming space or esports space or content or what is it called, a production space as a major in college?
Uh, No, actually, I was actually doing business administration in college,
Oh,
and my professor was actually a freelance reporter or writer actually for event hubs. So he was already knowledgeable in the space,
yeah.
and also played Street Fighter competitively for a number of years, and then he's been doing on and off for he's still a English composition professor over at Valencia College. He is still definitely one of those guys that I always hang my hat to in terms of like making sure he gets the credit he deserves. Because I mean, without him, I don't think a lot of my passions would have existed or I've been able to make an impact in the space.
Ah, that's nice. That's nice. So he gave you that inspiration and that push, that guidance
Yeah.
to say, hey, this is dope. He thought that you would be a good fit for it. He just put you on to it.
Not
That's
even like it was just one of those spur of the moment things where I was like, you know what, I literally he showed me
hmm
he actually showed it as a lesson in class because we had to write a report on it to
uh,
show different perspectives of what like what type of events are going on or what was our perspective on it, how do we feel about it and all that. And then next thing you know, I was like, you know what, I'm really going to do deep research on this and see what's going on. And ever since then, it just took off for me. Like he didn't know it at the time, but it was the push. And so since then, like the rest is history, honestly.
got it. That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. So from there, how did it evolve into like you putting together to your own content? You know, how did it
Mm.
evolve into like you just flying around the world like you know just doing events? How did that
Yeah.
how did that come about?
So while I was in college, I met up with a couple of guys. So one of them was one of my high school best friends. His name's Josh. We call him Papa or Crow back then is as he was called. He played Smash Brothers Melee uh, back then, and another friend of mine, Alex. They call him Duelist over here in the fighting game space. And we got together during college, and we're just like, you know what? We need to find some people that are better than us, and let's just have fun and just like post some events. So we actually started hosting over at our college campus for charities and stuff like that. Alex had some connects with St. Jude's Live, so we were able to do some gaming events for charity. I think at one point in time we raised over $600 in less than 3 hours. Like it was insane. So being able to do that and back when I had hair, which is the joke of the of the conversation. I used to have a little bit of hair. You just used to rock a nice fade. My old barber actually put me on to a hookah lounge owner. Funny
Yeah.
enough, and literally he's like, hey, like there's a guy that would be interested in doing Mortal Kombat stuff, and at the time I was really into Mortal Kombat X, and I was like, you know what, send me the address, let's see what's going on. So
Yeah.
I went over to the hookah lounge. Literally 2 days later, I was like, hey, like I heard you're good at Mortal Kombat. I was hoping that you would be cool with us hosting like an event here, for at least getting a tournament started. We've never really done it before, but we just want a place where we can host.
Yeah.
And he said, if you beat me in Mortal Kombat in a 3 out of 5, I'll let you host here for no problem. I was like, really? So I was like,
Wow.
I said, all right, cool. So I went ahead and we booted up the game. And 3 games later, in a 3 out of 5 set, I cleaned him up with Jason, and then that's how Juicy Game Night was born. It was over at the Juicy Hookah Lounge, right
No.
across the street from Valencia.
No way.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's a dope story. So how did it? Wait. So you 3-0'd him for the free
Yep.
hookah
With Jason
hosting?
Voorhees. Yes, sir.
God. So
And none
for,
of us smoked.
and nobody smoked any hookah. Just.
And nobody smoked at all. Like none of us smoked at the time. We're just here like, nah, man. We don't smoke, but we just want a vent space. And this has the ambiance. This has the lighting to make things cool. It was a different environment. And we just said, whatever. We're
No way.
already here, so we might as well get the job done.
Now I'm
So
interested to see like what city was that? Like what could
Kissimmee.
Kissimmee?
So it's
Oh, that's
just it's like
Florida. Outside of
yeah.
Orlando.
So it's just south. Yeah, literally just south of Orlando,
Yeah.
closer to Disney.
Disney. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It goes down in the South, man. I try to tell everybody that, but especially
Yeah,
in Florida. Especially in Florida.
absolutely.
Okay.
1000%, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not. Yeah. Yeah. So okay, I have family in the Jacksonville area, so
Gotcha.
that's where. But when we come to Kissimmee, we come for like, Universal,
Yeah, Disney, all that.
Disney,
Yeah,
and
the
all
good
that other
stuff.
stuff. Family
Yeah, the
reunion type
amusement parks.
fun.
It's okay. You're in a nice part of town. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's a pretty dope story. How you started hosting tournaments at the hookah lounge.
Yeah.
Man. I would have never
Yeah.
thought that. So from the hookah lounge, where did y'all take it then? Oh,
So
my bad. Did the first hookah lounge tournament did it turn out okay? Like did it
so
do what it was
we
supposed to
actually
do?
started off. So we actually started off with like 6 people. Just a couple friends that we're talking to. Word of mouth back then was just like it wasn't very strong, but we're just having a good time. We didn't really care as long as we had people to play, honestly.
Right.
And the vibes were good. We were hosting Smash Brothers, not Ultimate, Smash 4. It was on the Wii U. Smash Bros on the Wii U at the time, and Mortal Kombat X. And then later on, like we saw that the attention was growing to where people that we went to college with and attended classes with were like, hey, we want to come out. Like, it's over at us, and understandably so. It's like, hey, it's kind of at a sketchy spot. We aren't really hookah smokers. I said, don't even worry about it. We got snacks, and that's all that matters. It's like, hey, we may not be the most top tier experience. It's not something that's like a clean environment as most people. We
Right.
just want something that's cheap where we can play, have a good time, and then at the end of the day, you walk away with a little bit of cash. That's it.
That's it. That's the
So nothing
purpose.
too
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So, and since then, like, naturally, it started to take form. We made sure to, put our content on Twitch and YouTube. We had to teach everything amongst literally to ourselves, how to do production, getting monitors, investing in staff members later on. Soon we had to host 2 nights a week, one night just for Smash because that was popping off. In the Orlando area, especially by UCF, because it's all college students there. So, and then they are coming down to Kissimmee, driving 30, 45 minutes, sometimes even an hour, depending on rush hour traffic,
Right.
just to be like, hey, listen, we want to play some games and we see that you guys are popping off. So we were averaging anywhere from 40 to 60 people per week on just Smash Bros. And then, it it was a crazy time. And a lot of us should not have been in that hookah lounge. I ain't gonna lie to you, but everybody was having a good time. And honestly, like the fact that we were able to survive in a space like that, where honestly it was pretty cramped, considering the environment. But honestly, like the fact that we made it work is no short of a miracle. So we just had as much fun as we could. We really didn't care. And we were just showcasing around some sodas, some snacks, make sure everybody's hydrated, get the water ready, and we moved from venue to venue. I think we stayed in that space for about, I think, 1.5, maybe 2 years before, unfortunately, it closed down.
Okay.
And we moved on to we actually bought the trademark for Juicy after the shop closed, and then we were like, you know what, just keep the title. So we bought the trademark for Juicy and kept it in the copyright stuff. And after that, we kept the brand going because the branding was too good. It was way too easy to pass up, and we were just like, you know what, we'll just go ahead and move about, because at least we don't have to deal with overhead costs. All we need to do is just bring the equipment and the brand, and everybody else will follow. They already had people trusted us to put on quality events no matter what. So we were able to work with Buffalo Wild Wings over at over by a couple other bars, Carambola, Buffalo Wild Wings over in Orlando, and also in Kissimmee as well. They gave us like an access to a patio space.
Yeah.
And we were there for like, I think about 2 years as well. I think 1.5 years, 2 years. And then we found out that we were growing too big, because we went from 60 people we went from weeklies to monthly events, and we did both. And then next, from those monthly events, starting from 60 people, they went on to 200 and some change. So yeah, in the span of 4 years, I think it was. And actually, sorry, it was like we maxed out at 200 in 1 year, but I think we're averaging around like 110 to still 120 people per month. Like that was still insane to us. And afterwards, being able to pick up after that, to where we're hosting where Juicy is now hosting over at the Hilton Garden Inn by SeaWorld, getting a crazy amount of space. Still being able to host, I think, as many as 12 to 13 games at a time now. And I actually retired from Juicy earlier this year, the week after my birthday, and I started something new. So yeah, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and start new, get a new project going. And it's one of those things where I was like, you know what, now that I know exactly what's going on now, at least what to do, it makes the setup process and growth process so much easier. But yeah, like honestly, the journey was unforgettable. So and with Juicy as well, we were able to get global recognition for just the quality of events that we put on, to where we were hosting or helping facilitate massive majors, or the fighting game majors. So CEO, which is hosted in Orlando, or he was hosted in Orlando and now is over in Daytona. We've helped out at Combo Breaker over in Illinois. And I think most of the crew for Juicy is now going to their first Evo this weekend. This will be my second one. And yeah, that's pretty much the little rundown.
Wow, so dope journey, man. Like goodness, but it's almost like that was a span of 4 years, and it's almost like you're just about to start really getting started, because you said that you I don't want to say walked away from Juicy, but you separated a little bit to start your own project. And and what was the project? What's the project? And can you talk about it now?
Yeah, of course. So I started a new company or a group called Oyaji Conglomerate. Oyaji in Japanese translates to old man or old geezer, which is what some of my close friends called me. So because my knees are.
Hold up, time out. T.O. Tournament organizer. Hold up. All right, bring it back.
Yes, sir.
All right, come on. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
I gotta drink some water off it. Okay, let's get it, man. My bad.
You're good. You're good.
All right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm good now. I'm good now. Let's go.
It's gonna be a fun interview. At least you got the guaranteed goodies now. So yeah. Yeah, so Oyaji is old man or old geezer in Japanese, and we were like, you know what, let's just start something new. So this
Yeah, I want to
uh
say it with you
new
before you go into the story. You said Omine Juino?
Oyaji, so Oyaji.
Oh yeah, OY OYE
O Oyaji.
OYA OYAGI.
Ji, yeah, Ji. So G. So that's
Oh
how the
gee,
G comes in.
okay.
Yeah.
Oyo
Oyaji.
G. Oyaji Oyaji. Got it.
Yeah, there you go.
All
Yep.
right.
That's the one. Yep.
OYG. I'll try to say it
Yeah.
again at the end of the interview.
You're good. You're good. So we call it Oiko for short, just in case.
Thank
Yeah,
thank you.
Oyaji conglomerate.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. So
Oiko.
yeah, we started it a while back. And this project, I was like, you know what? Let's one of the main things that I've realized in the space of esports is um, a lot of people are seeing, the end result in terms, and by that I mean a lot of people know about LCS, a lot of people know about Call of Duty League and HCS and Halo Championship Series
Mhm.
for those that don't know, but um, the main thing that I specialize in is grassroots. So basically building up from the ground up,
Right.
and so one of the things that I've made a passion project of is bridging the gap to where tournament organizers and either suppliers or different resources can come together and help build up these foundations or smaller tournaments that may need access to certain resources but may not have the funds or like maybe the know-how to do it.
Mhm.
And so I took it upon myself to be like, okay, cool, what if we made a space to where people can reach out or share the do's and don'ts of what they've been through in the esports space, whether it's event planning, event organizing, production, even being a logistics specialist or even a supplier, like as a sponsor. What are you guys looking for when it comes to whether it's certain numbers, types of audiences, growth? Is it numbers or impressions, all that type of stuff?
Mhm.
That's very important because not a lot of people understand like the business lingo behind it. I surely didn't when I was first starting.
Right.
We it was and it took me. I was a part of Juicy for nearly 7 years.
Mhm.
So and there's still a lot of things that I'm learning now as I start this new journey. So it's definitely been one of those passion projects where I'm like, okay, cool, like let's do something new, but still do it based off of by building a relationship first with the players in local areas
Yeah.
first, and then afterwards expand and be able to help make a positive impact in different ways and helping other events out.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned impressions. Are you talking
Hmm.
about? Are you speaking of like the marketing aspect of it, or how you?
Right.
So you guys are putting together marketing campaigns across like on the social
Um,
media, or you're talking about like I don't know, like radio, or is it what type of medium were y'all marketing with?
So it's mainly like educating people about the ways that you can utilize social media more effectively.
Okay,
So,
I
for
got you.
example, like manipulating the algorithms on YouTube in order to get like more viewership. That's still more organic.
Organic
How
traffic.
important are tags and making sure that things show up in the search bar. How does your video progressively like show up at the top of the at the list?
Yeah,
What type of edits can be made? All that type of stuff. Yeah.
got it. Because I was
Hmm.
thinking of that you guys were producing paid traffic, but you're focusing more on the organic traffic. Okay, I got you.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
got you. That's my day job is I'm a digital marketer. That's why I understand the lingo. Okay, I got you, man. We
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
We here. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so you're focusing on building or helping others build from the ground up. That was
Correct.
okay.
Hmm.
All right. So you're more of a so you're not like scared of the competition. You're more of a collaborator instead of someone that's afraid of potentially creating someone that's going to be in competition with you, right?
Yeah.
That's that's dope.
For-
It takes a real person to do that, man. You know?
Yeah, for us, like I mean, we've always embraced it because like a lot of one of the things that we've also noticed is that a lot of companies or corporations in general, they are always still doing the clause of, hey, non-compete, stuff like that. while for tournaments in general, we're okay with embracing the fact that there's different tournaments out there because we need to have the ecosystem survive.
Yeah.
Sponsorships are still very important. There's also like for a fighting game, to give a reference, we have like Tekken has this thing called their Tekken World Tour. So they go to different tournaments and they do what's called levels of events, or there's master events, there's dojo events, and depending on how large the event is, players and also how large, how well you place in them,
Right.
players can get a certain amount of points. And so what we try to do is we showcase, hey, this is the next stop on the tour. Make sure to get your tickets and your finances ready or whatever you need in order to make sure to come out and show out, because that way you can get a chance to show up to the finals. I think a couple years ago they had it over in Amsterdam. Another time they had it over I think it was over by Thailand, I believe. And it was just like there's different. Even Capcom making their massive announcement for Street Fighter, first place getting $1 million if they win the entire tour. Like that's almost insane.
Did you say $1 million?
Yeah, for first place. Yeah, if you win the entire tour.
Time out. One more time out. There's one. This is the last one.
Yes, that's okay. You can take as many as you need.
$1 million for one tournament.
Yep.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So when is that?
So that one, let's see, because I think they announced it finally. Give me 1 second, I'll search that up for you. But I think it's in the. They already just started the tour now, so the tour is active as we speak. Yeah, so they're going to group up the top 48 players from the online qualifiers and also the offline premieres. And so they're all going to duke it out for first place, and first place gets 1 million, and I think it's a $2 million prize pool, I believe. It's completely crazy to see like how some of these events have progressed over the years. But yeah, it's been amazing being able to get access to get access to being able to attend these events, and then still being able to not only participate but then witness history, really.
So you're going to be a part of that tour, or you're going to be?
Nope, not me. I'm gonna be chilling at home watching that one. I'll be that one I gotta enjoy in the comfort of my own home. I want to make sure I have plenty of elbow room so that nobody gets bumped from watching the good matches.
I got you. All right, I understand
Yeah.
that. So you mentioned that you were a tech also, right? So are you the tech for your own events, or did you have another gig or like a side job with another company, just working on their events?
So yes and no. So I actually learned to do tech with Juicy, and then later on I was like, okay, cool. Like now I'm still learning. So let's make sure we put that out there. I'm still learning because technology in general is still advancing at a crazy rate.
Every day, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. So like with Street Fighter 6, for example, I'm learning about variable refresh rates and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, cool. This is a whole different dimension of terms of just preventing one game from screen tearing for other players, making sure that, certain things are tournament standard. So the main ordeal that we're working on is that I've been doing is, okay, cool. Diagnosing certain problems that I've had, and also taking notes on it, because I want to make sure to improve upon that for other players and then other tournament organizers, and share that information so that their tournaments go smoothly as well.
Okay.
I can also give a quick example. When I was when I was over at Evo last year, Warner Bros. Hosted the game Multiverses for a $100,000 for the 2v2 championships that they had, and it was a brand new game, still in beta, so there was a lot that we had to learn. Everything was hosted on computers, but we had to download software and try it all out. Like, hey, if we put on two keyboards, it's which one they're going to be fighting over player one, and how are we going to organize teams, all that type. We literally had to write our own guidebook on how how to make sure that the tournament functions correctly. So a lot of stresses on that one, but but we made it out somehow.
Yeah. So I don't know if I could mention this or should mention this. I remember
Hmm.
we were trying to get the schedule, and you were saying that you had a meeting with
Hmm.
not too long ago. So,
Hmm.
I mean, can you talk about like what was going down in that meeting, man? Because I want know what's happening. I want to know. I kind of want to. Well, I'm
I
interested. I'll
can't.
say
I
that.
can't. I can't talk about that much, but I can say that it's going to be very exciting to see Mortal Kombat coming up this weekend because they're hosting Mortal Kombat 1 as a they're doing a playable build at Evo, which is public knowledge.
Right.
So that one they're doing the assignments for that as of recent. So that one's been pretty good, and then basically hopefully showcasing certain times of like, hey, are these trailers coming out? Like, are they going to drop anything else? After San Diego Comic-Con, we were just like, oh,
Yeah.
getting the combat pack and seeing Omni-Man and Takeda and all that is woo-wee. And Homelander for sure. So that one was crazy. And then they dropped another reveal over at DreamCon. So we're just on the edge of our seats really as to what's happening next, whether or not we're going to have another world tour or anything like that. So fingers crossed, hopefully
Man.
that more jobs are in circulation. So fingers crossed.
And 100%, man. I know it's going. You're going to win regardless. I know you're going to win. I noticed you had a lot of Tekken on your YouTube, but
Mhm.
who was the guy? Like, are y'all in the classroom? Like in those videos, it looks like it's two guys, and they're going head
Mhm.
to head in the video, right?
Mhm.
And it's like they're doing the best of the five, or maybe
Mhm.
the best of five, right?
2 out of 3. Yeah, there's some that are 3 out of 5, some are 2 out of 3. Yeah.
So where is that, and what is that I was watching?
So that one was Clash of Coliseum. We just started that
Clash of
with
Coliseum.
Oyaji. Yeah. And what we're doing now is we're actually basically doing what I know best, which was grassroots. And I was like, okay, cool. How do we build a reputation for ourselves and get organic viewership and also build the brand organically? And so we decided, okay, cool. Let's just go ahead and do what we know best. Let's just start a weekly event. And
Mhm.
so we partnered up with a card shop in Kissimmee called Coliseum of Comics.
Right.
And they're like, hey, we have the space for it, and we don't have anything on Tuesdays. You guys are more than welcome to host here. And we said, all right, cool. So
Yeah.
um, now we've been hosting it for this is actually we just got our third week done on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. And we've been averaging, I think, anywhere from 20 to I think we had our highest at 25 in our first 3 weeks of doing it,
Yeah.
which is absolutely incredible considering the fact that it's a brand new weekly on the block and only hosting 3 games. So we've been able to do that with some staff members that I have. They've never run a tournament before,
Hmm.
and the fact that some of it, like literally, every single event has gone as smoothly as it has with people that have never done events before
Hmm.
is an absolutely incredible experience. Being able to be like, okay, cool, there's a lot of potential here. And I'm basically been doing my best in terms of, hey, you know what? I'm gonna let you guys run the show, and if you guys need help, like ask. This is your time to learn what the back end is, the behind the scenes aspect of it, troubleshooting issues. What is it? How do we organize a tournament from start to finish? What's involved? How to talk properly to other businesses? How do we communicate with certain lingo? How do we monetize it? Things
Hmm.
like that. Because I mean, especially for fighting games compared to the COD space, as you've seen, like Call of Duty, backed by multi-billion-dollar companies in order to make sure that the show progresses. We're here just like doing it with literally only a little bit of cash in our pockets. So how do we
Yeah.
make sure to not only break even, but at least show a positive out or a net outcome of where it's like, okay, cool, let's get a net positive today.
Yes.
And that's the formula that we're searching for.
Yes. Did you ever get a kick out of it? Like wow, I'm involved in something that's becoming successful. Like, did you
Yeah,
ever get a kick like
absolutely.
this? Like, oh, yo, what? Like what you were saying? What was happening with Juicy? Like,
Yeah.
it had to like, oh, that moment, like, oh shit, this is really taking off, right?
Yeah, 1000%. It actually was that moment came. Um, well, it actually came twice. So, I'll give you an example. So during CEO, there is a well-known commentator at the time, Katana Prime. He's really, really well known for his commentary for Mortal Kombat and Injustice.
Right.
And he's also helped out with E-League and different events across the globe as well. But he we had worked together over at a CEO, and he saw the way that I was like, calling people over, helping them out with doing matches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, like you have the opportunity to be able to be great. Right. And this is somebody that I was looking up to, you know what I mean? So, and he was known as the NRS guy, for majors for a very long time. So going from that, and then he said, and he was telling me, he's like, hey, listen, like I know you're just starting, but if you're able to get yourself out to at least combo breaker, like you will more than likely get the keys in terms of being able to just be the next guy in line in terms of doing the heavy lifting for NRS events, whether it's helping stream run, picking matches, running the top brackets, and being a lead, in that game. And he came through on his promise, and since then, that's why I've been able to work as many events as I have.
Yes.
Specializing in Mortal Kombat and Injustice events, working with the Injustice Pro Series, doing the Mortal Kombat 11 Pro competition, even working the finals for that, which ironically enough was on my birthday weekend and when the LAX COVID outbreak happened that same weekend. So that was a crazy experience. But it was one of those things where it's been a crazy journey, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
I know I just asked you, did you get a kick? Have you ever like got a kick out of like seeing things take off? Now the second part of that process would be to see like the things that you love doing anyway that you would do for free, that you could actually get paid to do it, and it's actually a job. Like that has to blow your mind. It's blowing my mind just hearing about it because I didn't know how deep behind the scenes, like tournament organization, like how deep it goes. You have production, you have technical people, you have you just have all these different jobs. Yeah, yeah. People that's commentating,
logistics,
streaming,
making sure to have monitors, streaming,
equipment
sound.
managers. You have to have
Don't
somebody
even let
to
me
get
get started on lighting.
lighting. Then you have to move that stuff from city to city. That is crazy. Like it's a real tour, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yo,
Exactly.
that's
So
dope.
it's still unbelievable, being able to have been a part of like some large shows, like seeing go from the ground up, like Halo Championship Series and Call of Duty League, being able to put, those computers together and saying, okay, cool, like this setup is going to go here. Here's where, they have like a sometimes they'll have what's called like a cache system where it's like, okay, hey, like the game's already downloaded on here. We're just going to basically upload it with this proper update and it should load in like 30 seconds or so, or 2 minutes, however fast it goes, seeing a whole, and we're talking about a big game. Like Call of Duty is not, is not a small
It's
game at
not.
all,
I just
but
had a 39 gigabyte
and
update today.
exactly, and the fact that they're able to load that up, in a couple minutes just because they have their own like isolated server for it's crazy. It's mind blowing. Seeing stuff like that. So, being able to see it from not only the small scale but also like mid tier level scale. I haven't worked at LCS, and LCS is what's considered, the mecca of all esports right now because of the amount of money and viewership that it brings in. It's incredible. But still being able to witness what I've seen, over the past few years has just been an absolute crazy, almost out of body experience. It's like,
Right.
You're really part of it. And it's also one of those things where, you sometimes have imposter syndrome because it's like, am I really here? Like, did I really earn all this? But it's like, no, you have to make sure to pat yourself on the back and say, yeah, like I'm here for a reason. You know what I mean? And so, it's, I even thinking about it now, it's like, woo-wee, like it was a lot of sacrifice too,
Right.
So I'm truly thankful to be in the position that I'm in.
What do you see it going in the future? Right.
Mhm.
Number one, yeah. I want you to answer about the entire space, but I want to know
Yeah.
about like you personally. Where do you see yourself going with this in the next few years because the last couple years is like it's been a huge leap, right? Well, imagine what the
Yeah.
next 2 or 3 years is going to be like. Maybe next year, actually. You know?
Yeah. So that one's I like that question. It's actually pretty layered.
Yeah.
But
Sorry
I'll
about
break
that.
it down. No, you're good. No, that's not a bad thing at all. I'm actually glad that you mentioned it because I do want to identify the layers and make sure that I cover everything as best I can. So I think esports as a whole is in a very, very good space to where growth is infinite because of the fact that people are finally putting their eyes on it.
Yep.
It is officially a $1 billion industry. There's a lot already going into it. Developers are now investing as much as ever in terms of locating where their fan bases are and how to retain them.
Mhm.
However, the cons of that are um, pay gaps, making sure that. So I'll give an example. Like there's champ brackets and open brackets. One of my biggest gripes when it comes to that is that open brackets I don't think are completely fair compared to the champ brackets. Like certain timings and stuff like that. There's sponsors getting involved and okay, cool. Like, why do certain players get to play on certain setups when the entire tournament is based off of, hey, like we're gonna do certain partnerships and stuff like that?
Okay.
Are we going to be or what type of space are we in? We have to find a ways to make sure that everybody grows together. And so when we do that, uh, we have to make sure to be mindful of, hey, listen, we have to. The little guys are the reason why these tournaments exist. They're also taking a sacrifice, so let's make sure that their sacrifice is worth it. Certain expenditures, all that type of stuff.
Mhm.
Same thing with the grassroots. Everybody, a lot of corporations are seeing the big picture, but the thing is, though, is that they want to invest and get a quick return. It can't always work that way.
Right.
Certainly you can get guarantees with big companies like Riots and stuff like that, but even so, there's always a risk to how these events go. You're not always going to be guaranteed success, and also big investments does not always mean big returns either. This esports space is still growing. A lot of people are still learning, so
Yeah.
we're
Dope.
having to make sure uh, that we educate ourselves thoroughly and making sure that we equip ourselves in a proper fashion so that um, not only will anybody be able to do it, which even so, not everybody can, and that's okay. But whoever does take up the mantle in terms of being able to host it or takes on the mantle of doing it is also equipped
Right.
to be able to maintain it. So
Okay.
that's the I know that's a long-winded answer, but that's the
No.
best way I can describe it.
No, that was exactly what I was looking for. And for you
Mhm.
personally, like what do you like about the I guess the tournament, the whole tournament space? Like what is your favorite thing about it?
Ooh.
Yeah, you gotta be
I
scared
think
to
it's
ask the next question now that I asked you what you
yeah,
like
no,
about it.
I think it's the
Yeah.
I think it's the when you see people who have worked as hard as they do
Mhm.
get when they get that win
Oh yeah.
and seeing how they celebrate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
A
dope.
job well done kind of deal. And then being able to hand them that medal or that trophy
Yeah.
and you can feel that energy radiating from them from their hard work. Like that's definitely truly a sight to behold and also an experience without question.
Dope. Dope. So with that being said, what do you dislike the most about tournament space?
I think that there's still elitism, where like especially like amongst certain competitors and stuff like that, where it's like, hey, listen, like we're in this space because or get VIP treatment just because top player privilege is a better term for it, I guess. But I think that there's certain things that can be addressed in the tournament space where it's like, hey, listen, like if we're actually going to call this fair play, let's make sure we're doing this on even terms where everybody has an opportunity to play on the same setup, the same skill level, the same environment, all that type
Right.
of stuff. Sure, it's still going to be different types of situations because are you playing in front of thousands of people? Yes, there's going to be stream matches. There's going to be all types of stuff. There's still going to be certain discrepancies here and there that we can clean up.
Yeah.
But we also want to make sure that that tournament organization, that the organizing of the tournament and also the integrity of the tournament is maintained and kept in a certain fashion. So I think that's the main dislike that I have in the space where that we can still fix.
Mhm.
It is very fixable, but it's up to the organizers or the hosts themselves, the benefactors, if you will,
Gotcha.
that have the right in terms of being able to make that possible. But of course, the benefactors are the ones with the money in their hands. So what they say goes. So it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, cool. We have to adhere to it because at the end of the day, they're paying us. So
Right.
we're just trying to
Right.
put on the best show that we can.
Right. Okay. But I like your answer for the wins and like seeing someone else get their first win
Yeah,
or that aha moment for someone else. I think
yeah,
that's the dopest part about like for me. I like to I like to think I like to help people,
yeah,
So I think that was dope. And another question I had was
sure.
you. Do you still play? Do you play competitively, or do you still play competitively? Do you still like get out there and compete?
Yeah, I actually slowed down a bit because unfortunately my nerves aren't as great as they used to, at least in my hands.
Oh
But
man,
uh, every once in a while, I like sneaking in a game. Ain't no problem, ain't no problem. If
right?
somebody wants the games on Mortal Kombat or Injustice, I can hold down for about 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
I just can't. I can't do 20 game sets anymore. But
right.
I was actually funny enough. I was talking about it today with some of my friends where when we hosted the charity event for Naruto, I still have the screenshot for it, but I won 73 games in a row, and I had to go to the doctor's office later that week because my hands were just not. Yes, sir.
Time out.
Yeah.
Time out. Time out. Time out. Let's take it back. Let's just move it back just in 1 second, couple seconds. All right. So you were. When was this again? You were.
This is 2016.
Oh, 20. It's a few years back. Okay. So
Yeah,
you said you won 73 games in a row.
yeah, yeah,
Jesus. What?
yeah,
And then
yeah.
you had to
So
be had to be hospitalized after that.
I went straight. I went straight to the doctor's office the next day. I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
"Hey, my hands are not. They are not wanting to write. I couldn't type.
Oh,
Yeah,
yo.
and that's how I found out. Yeah, there was swelling over my joints, and also with some of the nerves were very strained because of course I wasn't properly stretching in between games
Got
and
you.
maintaining my hands. But it was also my fault. It was self-induced because I was like, "Hey, listen, whoever beats me
You on a roll,
in a,
baby?
in a yeah, I was like, hey, whoever beats me in a 3 out of 5, I'm donating $50 to St. Jude out of my pocket."
Yes.
And yep, and so that's how it started. It took 73 games, but somebody got me.
Oh my
So
goodness, man. Salute to that. I'm sorry that
yeah,
happened to you, but I'm not mad at that. A
yeah,
73
I'm not mad
game
at
win
it.
streak, man.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it either. It was well worth it. It went to charity, and
Yeah.
you know what? It helped build a relationship and gave me an even further push of like, okay, cool.
Like legendary
I've had so
status.
much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think I can go home and sleep on that one. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Give
Like
myself a pat on the back. Even though my hands were hurting, I guess.
right. Like the closest I've been to that was like Warzone, like 29 like the original Warzone with the slide canceling. Like
Yeah.
if I go about maybe 6 hours playing Warzone, all of that
Hmm.
slide canceling, slide canceling.
Yeah.
It's rough on your controller. It's rough on your hands. Sometimes my hands would be swollen, like a little
Yeah.
swollen and a little stiff or whatever. But
Hmm.
nothing like going on a 73 game win. How long did that take?
I think I played for I think it was about 5.5 hours.
5.5 hours.
5 and,
And that's you
yeah.
talking about combos, just constant,
Yep.
constant.
Yeah. Cancel,
You,
combo cancels, chakra dashes, ninjutsu inputs, all of that. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. It was fun. It was. I don't regret any of it.
And
So,
salute to that, man. Yo,
Yeah.
that's a legendary run, right? So is that like one of the highest streaks ever recorded? Like, what's the record? Like that's the most I've ever heard of for sure.
No, for Storm 4, I know that there's a guy that I think there's either there's a Japanese player I think that went over 200 games online. He went on a
Wins?
200 game streak. Yeah, it's win streak. Yeah. And there's one of the best players in the if not the best player in the United States. I think he went on 120 something games online, but I'm not sure if he did it all in one session or if it was just separate. But
Yeah.
he's literally the best in the United States. Playco Armboy, he's a monster. Like that
Nice.
man is crazy. Yeah.
His name Clayco
So
Arm Boy?
Playco, yeah,
Playco Arm Boy.
Playco, yeah, Playco, yeah,
Okay.
Playco Armboy, yeah. He
So
is legendary in the Naruto scene for
but
sure.
I just want to ask you this for my own knowledge search.
Of
Like,
course.
who are the top? Like, I don't want to say the top 5 uh, fighting game players in the world, or that you know of, or your personal top
Yeah.
5, because it would vary from game to game, right? Or some of these
Um.
guys multi, like they're up here in Tekken, they're up here in Mortal Kombat,
Oh yeah.
or in other fighting titles.
Oh no. There's some that are still they do multiple games. That one's actually I can give you my top 3 off rip.
Okay.
Actually no, I can give you a top 5. No order. Ryan Hart. Yeah, Ryan Joseph Hart for sure. That man's won. He's got the world record actually for I think the most tournaments won in fighting games.
Hmm.
He actually he was on the wavelengths a couple years ago because he told a fellow commentator they were joking around. He's like, I've won more tournaments than you'll ever enter. So
Exactly.
uh, iconic line for sure. So
Exactly that part.
that's he's him for sure. His tag he goes by Prodigal Son. That was his tag.
Nice.
There's Justin Wong, Daigo Umehara, who's one of the main. I think it's because of the fact that he was one of the first sponsored fighting game players ever,
Okay.
and he hails from Japan. Tokido, also another fighting game player, one of the best to ever really touch a fight stick. It's incredible. Was that 4? Yeah, and then Sonic Fox to clear it out. Sonic Fox leading the way recently is he's younger than all of them, but was a fighting game prodigy, I believe, from 13 years old,
Nice.
playing Mortal Kombat 9. And since then they've won world tours for Injustice, Mortal Kombat, and they've also been part of Dragon Ball. They've been really popping off with they're most well known for Injustice and Mortal Kombat, but they're actually doing a featurette with Waka Flocka
Mhm.
soon in September. They're doing a head-to-head competition there,
Nice.
and also was really well known for their play in Dragon Ball against their arch rival Goichi. Fantastic games there. I think their grand final set over in Evo a couple years ago, I think
Mhm.
lasted nearly an hour, and it went to game 10. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. So, um, but yeah, Sonic Fox, without question, definitely in that rounds out that top 5. Yeah, that's my top 5.
Salute to that list, man. That's a lot of names that's gonna make me go and research who these guys are and try to check out some
Yeah.
of their gameplay, because I
Mhm.
really haven't I really have not turned my back, but I really don't know about
Mhm.
how the fighting game space evolved ever since I just logged in on Call of Duty back in 2016, man. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna go do my own due diligence, do some research, and the Game Changers. Y'all make sure y'all go out there and check them out too, man. Those are the top 5
Yeah.
from King from the King Kai. So
Yeah.
listen, so what's I think we talked about what's next. But what's your next event, like your next event that we can check out on your live stream, or YouTube, or wherever you're gonna upload?
So Clash of Coliseum is the current project. I have something in the works right now where I'm hoping to get more benefactors and also more resources involved. So hopefully, when the time comes, I'll be able to release that information soon. But at least what I'm personally hosting, Clash of Coliseum has been the weekly project. Comes happens every Tuesday. You can catch the uploads on my YouTube account at KingKaiFL.
Yeah.
And then this weekend, in terms of being a staff member, I'll be working over at Evo in Las Vegas, the mecca of all fighting game tournaments. We'll be at the Mandalay Bay Center for 3 days. Flying out to man, it's gonna be a time. So and a lot of more reveals coming from different developers. It's considered the mecca because you got Riot with showcasing Project L.
Mhm.
You have Mortal Kombat going to be there. Street Fighter has 7,700 entrants.
What?
7,706, I think, is what rounded it out.
God. Wait. What does that mean? What is that?
That's the most for a Street Fighter bracket. Period.
Like people. Wait. Saying 7,700 people signed up for a Street Fighter event.
Yeah,
And they're gonna duke it out to the end
this weekend.
in one weekend.
Yes, sir.
Yo, this is crazy, man. Like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all gonna be live streamed.
Yes, it will. 6 channels. 6 different channels for Evo. So I'll definitely forward that to you as
Man,
well.
plug me
Yeah,
into that.
but
I would like to check that out, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's gonna be a fun weekend. Tekken 7. I think this might be its final one over at Evo because Tekken 8, we're hoping either comes later this year or next year. But they've already been doing the closed network tests and beta tests, letting people try it out on their own arcade systems, and they're also doing a playable build at Evo, I believe. So it's been absolutely crazy with like this right where it's actually convenient and also it's a really good coincidence though that I'm on the show during this time because we're actually entering the golden age of fighting games. Street Fighter 6 coming out, which came out in June, Mortal Kombat coming out in September, and then Tekken 8 just around the corner, and then Riot Games hosting Project L, which they just recently announced can be one of those main 2v2 fighters. So you can have a partner with you, like a co-op system, and you can call them in for a tag and or assist, and they can go ahead and you see the synergy between them both. Like it's absolutely incredible to see like how fighting games have been progressing recently. It's so awesome.
And you know what? That's big time, dude. That's so huge, dude. And salute to that. That's all I have to say. Just salute to that, man. My hat goes off to everybody that's booming this thing and blowing this thing up. That is so fire, man. Salute to I don't know if you ever heard of Trey and Jay, but they were very big on like fighting games, and those are my partners here on the Game Changers on the MVPs network. So those are my partners. So salute to them. Salute to those guys, man. Man, is it anything that we hadn't covered? Like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, my bad, man. Your team, shout outs, my man.
Yeah.
Like, shout out your team. Give somebody their flowers, or give your team the love.
Oh man. Well, first shout outs to Alex and Josh for tolerating me for nearly 7 years of pushing the envelope of let's do something outrageous by hosting in a hookah lounge.
Right.
And starting up Juicy Game Night. Shout outs to the Juicy Game Night crew. And shout outs to the Oiko crew, Zach, Brandon, Lewis, Gavin, Neurotoxin, or Wahoo as they go by now. Those guys are just going absolutely crazy with the fact that some of them it's their first time like hosting fighting games ever. Incredible. Chris from Ground Zero Gaming giving us the plug with Red Bull and just providing Red Bulls to the event almost every single week free of charge. Like that's incredible. Shout outs to Coliseum of Comics for allowing us to host. Ryan, the vice president of purchase there, he's been a great guide, just being able to communicate and really trusting in the vision and believing in us. That's just been awesome. To all my friends and family, for believing in the sacrifice that I made. I know it's been a pain.
Right.
Sometimes seeing it took a long time for the money to come in. That's especially being a Jamaican man myself. A yard man, as we like to say.
Yeah, boy.
And we want to make, yes, sir, a yard boy. Yeah. So, making sure to bring home the money first and make sure I'm taking care of myself. And also, shout out to my therapist too. Ironically, it's like, hey, listen, like, make sure you keep your mental health in check. Don't be afraid to check up on yourself, check up on your friends, make sure your well-being is taken care of first. Like that's
Sure.
the main thing, because there's only one you. So you make sure to keep yourself humble, make sure to keep yourself in check, make sure to it's okay to be transparent, and it's okay to have somebody to talk to, and make sure that you're taken care of.
Man, look to that, man. That is the way. That was well said. Oh, that was well said about especially about the mental health part. Make sure you guys
Hmm.
are taking the time out to care for yourself, man. Salute to that.
Yeah,
And salute to the
absolutely.
team, man. The whole team that y'all been together for a while. You said 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah, for Juicy Game Night, I was with them for nearly 7 years, but Oiko, we just started in a couple months ago, so, and they've
Yeah.
already been doing fantastic. So, but the fact that we're all like, on good terms and everything's been great. Like, shout out to everybody just being able to be cordial, work together, and just have fun in what we enjoy doing, which is literally just putting on events for other people.
That's amazing. Amazing. And I'll go ahead and give my shout outs. Shout out to the whole team at MVPs. Shout out to the whole AAU, and shout out to the whole Card Show podcast. All the people that have been following me for the last 7 years, man. Salute to y'all. Salute to the newly christened MVPsTV Changers podcast YouTube channel. This will probably be one of the first videos that we upload for the podcast on that channel. And salute to you for being a part of it, King Kai. This is
Thank you.
this
Thank
is
you.
this is and this is a fun episode because you put me up on game. I learned a whole lot about the fighting space, man. I did not know a lot about it. I've been a card guy for a long time, and it's refreshing, to say the least. What you're doing is
Absolutely.
inspiring, man. It's inspiring, man.
I appreciate that, man. It's been,
Yes,
and also, and shout outs to Jay, the homie
yeah.
Jay, for linking us up, and having this great conversation too. Jonah just being who he is, a number one well spoken individual.
Hmm.
I'm glad that we were able to have the conversation that we had when we met in Toronto, and hope to also reunite. And if anything, Diddy, thanks for having me on as well. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you for coming through. And you know what? I want to ask this. I got to ask this. 'Cause
Sure.
I want to get hands on with this fighting game stuff, man. I think it would be dope if we switched out content. Like you take me, you take me into to the fighting game arena, and we get some good content. And I'm gonna take you over to Call of Duty, maybe some multiplayer or some Warzone, man. Get some good content, man.
Yeah.
What do you say to
We can do something. We can work something out. Yeah, we
that?
can definitely do that. We already got the Discord's link, so we
Yeah.
already a step of the way there.
For sure, man. So whenever you wanna
Yes, sir.
do that, let's hook it up, man. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Cool. Anything else?
Nope, I think we're good to go. I appreciate you again. Thank you for having me on, man. Thank you.
All right. Game changers. We're about to close it out. And as always, live life, show love, be great, and always keep the kill feed lit. It's been your guy diddyonasis Game Changers podcast with King Kai, man. We out. Peace, 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 peace. See y'all next week. Peace. Yes. Thank you,
Okay.
man.